Hey, guys! Welcome to the very first episode of the Red Flag Lovecast.
Hello.
Hey, I swear it's the chair, not me.
She's been farting.
It might be me.
Ever since she came in here.
It might be me.
It's like
a little bit.
or something.
I mean, it depends on if they're into it or not. I know some gay guys
Some
are
people.
into it.
They are. I saw that. I saw
What,
that
into farts?
on Grindr.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
I saw that. There was, there was this guy who was so cute. And then that happens all the time. There will be like a cute guy and then you click on it and read the thing.
and
it's like, I want someone to fart in my face. I want to put your dick in a cage.
Why not?
God, no.
All right.
This is what I'm saying. This is
Very
what
vanilla.
Yeah, well, all right. Continue.
Okay, anyway.
It's going to be the best intro you have all year.
I'm so excited. This is like our new venture. I figure talking about this shit, like I'm such a disaster on two legs. You're less so, but you're who you are. Yeah. So this is sort of like, for me at least, the lemonade out of lemons. But,
okay.
You know, we are the bald and the blind leading the blind. And you are just like the queen. Like you.
The queen?
Got your shit together.
Thank you.
Oh, you kind of got your shit together, at least. I mean,
I make a living out of being controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always kind of been that way.
I was going to say so do we, but we don't really make a living out of it.
I'm rich as fuck. I don't know what.
What's the purpose of this podcast? Why don't you tell everyone that's coming here for the first time?
I feel like everybody...
I'll just talk without...
Yeah,
I know.
Go ahead.
What? Yeah, I don't know. It feels like we live in such a horrible timeline, not to bum everyone out. It feels like kind of loveless times. Everyone's struggling with the same shit, and I think everybody thinks that they're alone, and it's just them.
Right.
So let's talk about all the things that people think and
afraid to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About dating, sex, love, relationships, kink, all that stuff.
Hell yeah. And
So
you've got a gay, a straight, a lesy. We got you all covered.
We got the whole thing covered.
So my name is Peter Feliciano, singer, songwriter, podcaster of Conservatish. Mike Harlow, obviously, the famous.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Very.
And Arielle.
And I'm the first guest.
You're like the Barbara Walters.
You are
here.
such a leftist. You already made sure that you throw in the token lesbian. I'm so proud of you. I'm just kidding.
That's not. They don't care about you at all. There would be
they don't. They don't give a shit.
Token trans woman of color.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's
disabled?
I swear to God, they get royalties every time they say the word trans women of color.
Right.
But what I kind of want to talk about is who do you think has it worse? Of not just us specifically, but lesbian, gay, straight? Because it's me.
No,
Who has it worse as far as dating?
As far as that's a great point. There's
Me.
a couple of different ways. Dating and sex.
I feel like we all think it's us.
Probably.
It's definitely me. But okay, so dating, sex. Let's start with dating and or relationship love.
Okay. That's the important one.
Why would Arielle, why do you think you have it worse?
Make our case.
Why do I think I have it worse?
Yeah.
As far as dating, because
dating.
I feel like more women that are LGBT feel like they have to be super far leftists than men. If you go to the National Gay Republican, whatever, it's mostly men still. There was 4 lesbians there this year. And I think it's because men are taught that, generally speaking, that it's okay to lead away, to go be a leader instead of a follower, and women are afraid to do that. And it makes dating very difficult for somebody like me. The sex is fine. I could just go and bang somebody if I want to tomorrow.
Sure.
But actually having a fulfilling relationship with someone that disagrees with your entire existence because you think differently is not really it's not fair.
Okay.
So do you feel like that kind of switched around when you weren't a leftist anymore?
Yeah, I was. Well, here's the thing. I thought that I think you and I both had this kind of discovery, right? We thought that we either were leftists or had to be leftists, and then slowly but surely we were feeling less included in our own community, and all these other people that aren't even actually gay are claiming the LGBT label and telling us what homosexuality means and how to live our lives and all this stuff. And we got sick of it and we left. I think it was more cultural for me, maybe more political for you.
Oh, it's kind of both. It was kind of like
but politics are very, very, very culture. I would say culture directly affects politics these days, directly.
Right.
And I think that's because of things like, Black Lives Matter, the LGBT movement, all that good stuff, women's rights. And I think it's forcing politicians to think differently. That doesn't mean that's the right way to think necessarily, but it affects everything these days.
Can I ask you a question? As far as dating being dating leftists and things like that, yes. As far as getting in the door, how often does it come up? As far as a filter to letting Arielle into their lives, how often does it come up? Like on a date, is it right away? Is it?
Oh, right away now.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I go on dating apps, and the first thing I say is, I voted for Trump, by the way, just to throw it out there to see how they react.
That's smart. That's what I got to
Because
start
I can't
doing.
do it. I can't. Like, I'm not going to judge you if you voted for Biden. I'll judge you if you're judging me.
Right.
But like everybody, like, I didn't vote for Trump in 2016.
Right.
I didn't.
Right.
That's where I was at that moment. Was I right? Was I wrong? I don't know. I just know that that's where my head was at. So am I gonna judge someone who's not where I'm at right now? No. But if you're not even emotionally on my level, well, that's not even emotionally. If you're not even, I think it's actually mental, probably.
It's mature.
It's
maturity.
It's mentally maturely on my level that you can't be with somebody who thinks differently and it's going to challenge you. That's not somebody I want to date. So I put it out there right away.
I've been the same way, that I've always been super open-minded. I don't give a shit what somebody's political opinions are. But the thing is, I've just learned by now that, like, we will never be seen as any sort of equal human being by these people. So at this point, I'm like, I don't know what's the point of even trying. And I'll usually kind of, like, I'm scared for them to find out, especially if it's somebody that I like and want to get to know. But so it'll usually come up, like, I try to push it off a little bit. It'll maybe come up towards the end of the date or halfway through. But, even if they say they're cool with it, until they're not suddenly. And then, 2 weeks later, I think with people like that, all it takes is one bitch friend of theirs to say, how could you know that person?
Right.
And then you're done.
But
Yes.
my question, you said, I won't judge you, or I'll bring it up right away. Is that a reaction to them bringing it up eventually? Like, have you gone on dates or had relationships where it's gone okay for the first couple, dates or whatever, and then they find out, and then?
I think that if they're that into politics, they've probably already seen content of mine.
Okay.
If they're not that into politics, they're even, believe it or not, if they're not into politics, they're even more likely to put, like, I don't go out with Trump supporters, or like Trump supporters swipe left. And I'm like, all right. And then I swipe left.
Right.
I've had people put that in their bio after going out with me. I'm proud of that.
Okay. All right.
Wait, but so what I want to ask, because I've kind of always assumed that, like, lesbians and gay men are sort of the mirror image of each other and sort of have opposite problems. But you said you could kind of just, if you wanted to just hook up, you could easily. So it's that way for lesbians also?
I think I could. The difference is that most lesbians, once you hook up, they want something more. And I do want something more. I don't want to hook up, which is why I haven't. But at the same time, I have a following. I could go out and be like, DM somebody and be like, what's up?
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that. I don't like the power dynamic thing. It's not healthy.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. And it's not what I want anyway. I want something healthy. I want something equal. And it's very difficult to find that with somebody, potentially with somebody who follows you, because they don't see you as an equal necessarily. They see you as something higher than, which...
And you'll always be a letdown.
Thank you.
Not you,
right,
but
right. Thank
us.
you. But yeah, right, yeah. But yeah, why do you think gays have it harder?
Oh, because they're just so horrible. Like, I don't know about, for you, did you feel like you got along with them better before, when you were a leftist? Because with me, it's sort of,
to me, it's the
on a
same.
different level now. Really,
To me, it's the same. They're both shitheads either way.
Yeah, like, it's sort of on a different level now, and it gives them.
Yeah, no. I think what you're saying, similar to clarify, when we were thinking of, like, what's worse, who's got it worse, it is in the sphere of political, filtering and things like that, and punishment and all that bullshit. But even regardless of that, how the dating sphere for you is also bleak?
Yeah, I mean, I've been single for 4 years, and it's very, like, first of all, not only am I, like, a controversial figure, so to speak. I don't think I'm controversial, but everyone else
shouldn't
does.
be, but
I really don't think I am. But, so I'm a controversial figure. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm a Trump supporter, and I was open about that. And I have an OnlyFans account. So I feel like that's 3 strikes for some people. and you know what? At the same time, like, I had this conversation, a really good conversation with my friend Jordan, who's a gay guy, and he's a life coach, and he's brilliant, spiritual man. And he said, I told him I was worried that I wouldn't find somebody that would accept all of me, so to speak, because it's seen as bad these days. And he said, no, I actually think that's the reason that you will find somebody, because you're so true to yourself. And I was like, you know what? You're fucking right. I was like, you're right. And that made me think about things a lot differently. I think that when you're true to yourself and your beliefs, I think that's going to attract the same back to you.
For me, I think, now that I'm not a leftist, it gives them an immediate reason to judge me. But I've just always...
But they're the party of love and acceptance.
Love and hope
love
and empathy and rainbow sunshine. No, from the time... Because I feel like gay people are sold this lie of rainbows and the community and all that. And they lead you to believe that you're being, you'll come out and be embraced into the open arms of this rainbow. And it's really, you're being shoved into the jaws of a shark.
A gay shark.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I've just always found it really difficult to get along. And maybe it's because I live in New York and I'm from here and I've never really known anything else. But I've just always had trouble getting along, especially leftist gay guys at this point. But I've just always found them really judgmental, really catty. I don't have much in common with them. And I think the culture, especially with gay men, is just so rotten to its core, is so deeply toxic, has never been worse. It's sort of like an upside down land where every sort of single thing that's considered to be a positive or healthy value for the rest of society are the things that are sort of taboo amongst gay men, and that you're encouraged to just be the worst you can be under this guise of pride.
Right, so maybe part of it is...
And it's created monsters.
Right, so maybe part of it is, yes, they're just like that, just like Arielle said, they're liberal dickheads, but they know that there's such a plethora of dick available and assholes available that they don't need to invest in time to understand what you're actually about.
It's too much. It's like, I was telling you this the other day. It's sort of like, imagine if you're in some small town somewhere and there's only one store. So you go to the town store and there's this one cute little teddy bear on the shelf and you're like, that is the cutest teddy bear I've ever seen. I have to have it taken home. That would be great. However, then you go to fucking FAO Schwartz and it's 10 floors of teddy bears everywhere. And that's what it is with dick now.
There have been studies on this. There have been studies. I can't, somebody research, I don't know who, one of you guys, I don't know, somebody that's watching, there have been studies that prove that the more choices you have, the more miserable you will be. And that's a whole other thing.
The more miserable you'll be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really
I really think Grindr is truly the worst thing to happen to gay people since AIDS. Why would anyone... I'm serious. I'm not joking. Think about it. Since AIDS, what has been worse?
I like it as a sentence.
Tell me what's been worse. Because why would anyone take the time to get to know anyone when there's always someone hotter, there's always someone sluttier, you have access to hundreds and thousands of guys in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you're encouraged to do that. You're encouraged to, honestly, for me personally, there is nothing in terms of other gay people, there is nothing in my life that except now maybe being a Republican. But other than that, there's nothing that I've been made to feel more ashamed of than the fact that I do want to fall in love. I do want to get married someday. I do want to have a relationship. Those are the things that are totally shunned, I think, amongst
it almost
gay men.
makes gays go ew, what are you, gay or something?
Yes, it does.
Turned off. Yeah. Okay, so
why do you have it worse, Peter?
So here's why I have it worse. As far as politically, yes, it makes sense. I agree. Same experience. Maybe not so much the plethora of opportunity, but same filtering, same judgment, same. If you're a bad, swipe left. It's okay.
Interestingly enough, and I want to go. This is.
Do it.
Adding to your point, I think you do have it just as bad as us, because besides gays and lesbians, straight women are the third most likely people, besides black women and black people, to be expected to vote left and be leftists. Men, straight men, especially straight cis white hetero, are the only ones that are allowed to be free thinkers these days.
Yes.
Here's
and
why.
Because you're dating
not even
women,
necessarily.
because you're straight, you're dating women. I think that it would be just as equally difficult for you.
Right. What's fucked up? Two things. What's fucked up worse, as far as my perspective of why, is that now imagine your experience, but without the sexual availability.
That's why I think it's better for you.
No,
I would
motherfucker.
I would do some Freaky Friday shit with you. I would trade you in a heartbeat.
Listen. Okay, the filter is there, but also for a straight woman, and I don't know how it necessarily. I know a little bit, whatever. I've been a fag hag for a long time, but for straight women, you're performing the whole time. On a first date, on an app, on a whatever, you have to fit into. That's why so many straight boys have become fucking boys instead of men. They tuck their dick in, and I'm a male feminist, blah, blah, blah. Please, for the love of God, fuck me. That's all they're doing. Please, for the love of God, open your emotions. Just let me in the door. Not because I'm a bad person, not because I'm a whatever, but I need acceptance that way. So at least you guys get motherfucking dick and pussy. At least you get that. There's a filter for that.
Rotten
one.
dick, rotten pussy.
Number one. And number two.
Rotten.
I mean, not literal, like metaphorically, expired, rotten, antique pussy, antique dick.
So you have to. So you have antique. So you have to take penicillin.
Not literal or
penicillin. Here's the other reason why I believe personally I have it worse. Is that my experience? Yes, I grew up. I grew up here until I was 9, but then I moved to the Bay Area. So most of my dating experience has been in the Bay Area, California, and in New York. So I like white women. So most of the girls I have been with have been liberal women.
Right.
The thing is that, and I'm sure it is in a lot of different ways, especially for you, women base their attraction based on the energy they receive, on the vibe of a guy, on a, like, there's something.
I would say lesbians tend to do that.
Right. So once you're past that, it short circuits something. On paper, a straight woman might go, I would never, and I would never, and I would never. But if they don't know that going in, they're like, oh, I like this guy. Oh, he does whatever, but he did make me squirt all over his bed. So maybe, like they do the math in their head, and they realize on a subconscious basis what they're willing to put up with. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, on paper, once the app is just like you're saying, once that app filter is put up, once that I would never is put up, they don't even realize that they're not giving themselves satisfaction. They want a guy who's willing to tell them no, who's not a pushover, who's not a bitch, who's not a whatever. But all these guys are trying to tuck their dick and be, please like me. And so
I don't think that's
feminist
healthy.
Women,
I don't think that's healthy either way.
Unhappy. Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy for women to do that either.
Right.
It's not healthy to not. It's not healthy to conform 100%.
Right.
No, I think you're right. I think that's.
I think gay men also are taught to be little bitches. They're taught that first of all, they're only taught masculinity in the most superficial of ways. They're taught to mean that it's an aesthetic. It's how much you work out. Yeah, and it's not. It's having balls. It's standing up for yourself. It's being, your own person. So gay people, I think, are sort of instructed that masculinity is off limits for them. So tuck your dick in and whatever, and that just banging a million people will make you happy. And I think the secret of gay men is that they are all miserable, and they are all in denial that they're miserable. Because that's the thing. It might seem to you, somebody who you have to work harder to hook up with someone or to get laid. Right. It might seem novel, but that shit gets old fast. Like for me, I used to years ago be very adamant that like I'm not going to just hook up with someone unless we go on like a date or 2 or 3. Right. And you get some fucking reaction from guys saying that. God, this one guy I went out with years ago. It was like a first date, and it went kind of well. So I was like, so at the end of the night, he thought I was like, oh no, well, we'll hang out again or something. And he like didn't comprehend that. And he literally said to me, he's like, dead seriously, he's like, have you recently had like a gender reassignment surgery? Is that why you don't want to come upstairs? Because that is a more likely assumption than waiting until a second date.
He literally thought you were trans?
Yes.
Wow.
So I think at a certain point with me, I felt like, okay, well, due to no alternative options, due to there not being anybody that I care about or would like to get to know, I will just fucking hook up with these people. Am I happier for it? No. And I don't think anyone is, because it gets so damn old, and it's never even that good. Like, if you don't give a shit about somebody, maybe 1 out of 50. I don't know. I mean, not that I'm that much of a whore necessarily, but
we don't slut shame on this podcast.
Some sluts should be shamed.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. How easy is it for you to get laid?
I don't talk about how often I get laid.
Fuck you.
I mean, you want me to be honest?
But I mean, if no one wants it
I'm not saying give us numbers. I'm saying
no, I don't care. I'm very honest about it. I just don't talk about it.
Right.
Because I think people would judge me for the amount that I don't get laid. Because I talk about sex all the time. I haven't gotten laid in like 3.5 years.
Okay.
That's by choice, you have to remember.
Sure. Exactly.
That's awesome.
It's 100% by choice.
By guys, we don't have a choice.
I don't get anything out of it if I'm not emotionally invested.
I think that's awesome.
I don't. And the last girl I dated was 3.5 years ago. And I've dated occasionally, like I've dated like casually 3-4 girls here and there, but it's like, okay, like it just, there wasn't a connection, and I'm not going to, of course I've tried to force it, but then I was like, okay, I'm trying to force it. I realized it, and I backed up, and I was like, no, And I'm 35 years old. Like, I'm not going to do that at this point in my life anymore. There's so many other things I could be focusing on. And I just shifted my focus. And it's not about sex for me. It's about intimacy.
Right.
That's just for me as a Cancerian, as just Arielle. It's more about intimacy. It's not about getting off. I don't even care about that anymore. I just want to feel emotionally understood by people. Mm-hmm. And it's tough because, like we were talking about before, there's always like a next, dick on the side or whatever. And people, they have all these choices in front of them, and they just leap to the next thing, and they think, grass is greener, so to speak. And that's not necessarily how it works. And it's, it's kind of a shit show right now for everybody, I think. Right. I think we can all say that we're like equally struggling in the dating world.
I think that for gay men, the conditioning of this culture runs so deep that even a lot of the conservative gays are just as bad, God, if not worse. I don't know. I feel like it's basically because men are naturally so uncivilized, we're cavemen, that without the presence of women around to be a civilizing influence, basically, we have one of two options. Either we can be that for ourselves, or we can be that for each other, from our community. I hate that word, but for lack of a better term, we're failing on 2 out of 2. So it's like, where do you get that from then? And what has filled the void of all that are just toxic, self-destructive values, I think.
And I'll bring it up as far as...
I can say the same thing for feminism, too.
Absolutely. And this might be, that's part of the reason why... the balance between, my experience has been a lot of girls, those not the lesbians, but like the bisexual lesbians that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Often they'll be I'm done with men, and then they'll go find a bull dyke because they are desperate, not even from a societal, but from a nature animal who we fucking are. For some reason, masculine balance is feminine, and they're looking for that masculine, and they're not finding it in the straight men dating pool because especially in the Bay and in Manhattan, it's okay. I'm going to tuck my dick. I'm going to be weak. Right? And so that's why the unsatisfaction, just like you're saying, dudes don't have like the balancing energy of femininity to ground them. A lot of women don't have the balancing energy of masculinity to provide a structure.
That's very possible. Yeah. I don't know, because I don't know many women that claim that identity. Like, I'm just like, I know of people that are like, I'm lesbian, but only because I hated men, like I had bad experience with men.
They don't know it. I am. They don't know.
It's a thing, right?
I've dated 2 women. Both of them were actually strippers at the time, but not the same one. I've dated 3 women from Portland who were strippers.
Of course, they're from Portland.
Portland is Sodom and fucking Gomorrah, by the way. When it comes, it's a weird fucking town. Not just from the purple hairs, but also it's more strip clubs per capita than anywhere in the country. Portland's off the chain. But both of them had decided, I'm done with men, that's it. Pussy for me, that's it, blah, blah, blah. And then, but there's this guy, this bald motherfucker who I like. So, not that they were necessarily...
I was going to make such a bad joke.
Do it! No. Do it! You're on Red Flag Lovecast. Do you know what the fuck you are?
I don't know.
Him looking like a penis?
What?
Him looking like a penis?
The opposite, I was going to say.
Oh, that I look like a pussy?
No, just like, no, I was going to say your bald head. Like, look, maybe they think it looks like a clit. I don't know.
All right.
Or like the tip of a penis. Yeah, the tip of a penis.
I've had a lot of
hair.
girls lick me there. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a terrible joke.
I think, though, I wonder what you guys think about this, because, like, okay, so you know how there was a big thing lately about, like, those scumbags throwing out the porn star from the conservative thing?
Yes, Brandy Love. I did a video with her.
Which is insane and ridiculous, of course. But, like, I think people are kind of on, I don't know, either, I don't want to say one extreme or the other, but kind of, that either they're, like, insane, like, ban porn, make it illegal, or they're like, everything is cool. And I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, because it's like, I think every normal person is somewhere in the middle, because show me one conservative person that's claiming that porn is blah, 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 like bad, throw it out, that doesn't watch porn, that hasn't watched. Get the fuck out of here. I just think it's
Be honest with yourself.
Right? I think it's too much, though. I think, like, you have an entire generation that's basically, like, cosplaying as porn stars now.
Yeah, the slutty, yeah.
Which, by the way, can we also, since this is a sex show, can we just address this as a quick side note? Porn sex is fucking boring as fuck. I want some intimate. I mean, it's
Hell
rare.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's never there. I'm saying there's a couple. Brandy Love actually has a great fucking scene. I can't remember with the dude because we never know. Of course I have.
I haven't watched it.
But she's got a great fucking scene because there's
No, I didn't know
intimacy
who
and
she
there's
was.
just
Straight
animal,
porno.
guttural, nasty shit, right? But a lot of straight. Oh yeah, right there. It's like, I can feel the fakeness.
But so many men don't care, I guess, right? Like, that's the thing, right?
I'll take accountability.
Not all men.
Secretly
So
care.
many men don't care.
I'll take as far as I'll speak for most straight men. It's a failing on our part, not only for us to tell each other and real ass motherfucking fathers to show boys how to be men.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
And show up as themselves.
And that's why,
that's another way. That's another aspect of that.
I think that's why, like, an actual feminist like myself, second wave feminist, a logical feminist.
Camille Paglia.
Yes, exactly. One of the things feminists fight for is if you're a true feminist and you believe my body, my choice, that kind of thing, and that's what feminism is to me, like equality, my body, my choice, let me do what I want. We've always taught, in sex ed classes or in my videos that porn isn't there to teach you to have sex, it's there to turn you on.
Right.
That's technically why people make it. It's not to teach you, it's to turn you on, and it's not meant to show you how to have sex. It's not meant to show you how to treat women. Please do not. Oh my God.
Well,
I really,
don't speak
don't
for yourself.
fuck someone.
Speak because straight women, from my experience, they may have there's that laundry list thing we were saying before. Yeah. I would never get choked out. I would never accept that a guy would smack me or whatever. And then it happens. So,
I don't mean that. No, that's all fine. I agree with you there. Yeah, that's why. See, again, that's why we have to be specific when talking about these things.
Right.
Completely agree. What I meant, I should have been more specific. What I meant was how to treat a woman, not getting her off, because most porns end with the guy getting off, and then that's, to me, that's not how to treat women.
Absolutely, and as another part,
the rest
to that,
of the stuff is just all kink shit. Like, everybody's into it. Everyone's into something. Yeah.
Right, and another part to that, there's the idea of, unrealistic expectations. Dudes from like literally 11, 12 years old, especially these days, are watching porn.
Like
it's
fucking
on their
5
phone.
years old
Right,
today.
right.
That's why I
And
think
they
it's
all have big
not
dicks,
good.
and they all have just fuck from the right angles, and they're all fucking for like half hour. They're all that stuff, and they do the perfect this and the perfect that, and they're silent
And
for
there's
some
no
fucking
poop.
reason.
The poop is all clean up.
There's
It's
no
true.
poop.
It's all clean. It's true. They douche
be
perfectly
okay?
beforehand.
yeah.
You're gay. How do you not deal with poop?
No, because okay, let's go there.
Well, okay, all right. Let me just
Gay
finish my
guys'
point.
assholes are, at least in my experience, thank God, are like cleaner than the countertop.
Because gay guys know.
Because of douching. Don't
Yes,
fucking act
exactly.
like it's not. This is the Red Flag Lovecast.
Right. Douching is important.
Oh.
Even I know that, and I never had sex in my butt.
Never even a finger, nothing?
No.
Lesbians
I had somebody
like that shit, I
lick
thought.
it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
and I just didn't like it. You don't like it? Are you more top? You're straight top? I didn't know that.
Yes, but like I can't stand the personality of most. But I love how I'm whispering because this has to stay just between us.
Right. Don't
Okay,
share
change
this
that.
I don't
anymore.
like the personality, so like I've never done it that way with somebody that I was like dating or in love. So I'm like, maybe if or when I do, it would be better.
You said done it that way. You mean, have you ever bottomed or topped? What do you mean?
I've never bottomed with somebody that I was like dating or in love with or anything like that. So maybe it would be less horrible when.
Maybe. You never know. Maybe you just don't like it. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It really
Also,
just
a lot
depends.
of
It
guys-
depends on that's how sexual orientation is different from sexuality. Sexuality is fluid, truly. Like the word sexuality that's what sexuality is. How you interact sexually with each person that you're with. It is fluid, because you can be with somebody that's more dominant, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I kind of feel like, more submissive, and then you're like, then you just want to fuck the shit out of something.
Well, that's the thing is like
people can be very sexually fluid in that way.
That's the thing. Aside
Not
from
orientation.
like,
That's not fluid.
Like aside from even the fucking part is I would think like the nice, you know how like these people say it's annoying, they'll be like who's the man in the relationship, who's the one, like I would think the one of the few nice things about gay relationships is like you can be that for each other, like I open the door for you, you open the door for me, but all these gay people are just so set into their roles and their boxes and their labels, it's insufferable.
And it's also unfortunate because, and I'll maybe reflect this.
That's why I don't even like saying I'm a top, I'm a like, you know.
As far as straight relations, it's similar to what we said the other day. There's a huge amount of bottoms, and a very little amount of like actual masculine motherfucking tops, like dirtbag bears, and I'd say dirtbag with love, out there to fuck dudes up. You know what I mean? In a good way, you know? And as far as that idea of, that's why so many straight women who I've, I'm a this or I'm a that, I'm a topper, because they've topped 4 motherfuckers doesn't mean that in their bones that's what they actually want to do. From the majority of women that I've talked to, for some reason, maybe it's just when they come across my energy, I don't know what the fuck. I'm not trying to suck my own dick. I'm just saying, that when they come across me, I'm a this and I'm a that, all of a sudden it's just animal, it's just energy, and they just go with the flow, and they like being submissive. You know?
Yeah.
I get told I'm intimidating. I don't know what that even means. I'm like, because I speak?
I've been told that too.
Really?
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that just means that they're not at your level. No, I think they're just not at your level. They're not where you're at, and that's okay. And just bye. Keep going. Keep swimming.
What? You know what the most horrible thing is like, you guys know me. Like, I joke around. I make fun of people who break balls. So, like, I was the last guy I went on a date with. He said something, like, making fun of me or whatever, and I, like, jokingly hit him in the arm, and he dead seriously was like, ow, that really hurt.
Like,
oh
literally?
Oh my God, is there a bruise? And like 10 minutes later, I think there's going to be a bruise on my... I was like, oh my God, get me the fuck out. That's why I was like, we are never sleeping together. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Like, how are they so weak? I'm sorry, though. I cut you off. What were you saying?
I can't remember.
This is what I wanted to ask you guys, though. So since there seems to be such a deficit of good people who you really feel something for, are we supposed to settle at some point? Is it asking too much to have insane love with someone? Is there like a certain point when you should just be like, well...
That's my life story.
Same.
I swear to God.
It's a complicated question. It's a complicated question because for me, I got out of a relationship in end of May, beginning of June. It was somebody I was with for about 2.5 years. Lovely person, long distance for most of it, towards the end anyway. And it was, we weren't exclusive, so it wasn't relationship, but it was a relationship. You were with somebody for 2.5 years.
It was emotional, but not physical.
Yeah, we love each other. It was more than friends with benefits.
Right.
You know, you don't fly fucking 3,000 miles for friends with benefits.
Wow.
It was.
Where the hell was this girl?
Not for friends with
China?
benefits.
Yes, you have.
No, I have the fucking.
Where was this person? China? Literally?
No, California. The problem is that in my reflection on that, and I've done lots of meditation and fucking, writing and all the fucking, I hate doing the work. God damn it, I hate doing the work. But I've done the work. And I can look at it, and there's many aspects. The more relationships I've been in, especially since like 2015, I'm like, I really like this part, but that doesn't mean I like all of that. I really like this part and this part, and I'm gonna put that on my ideals list of what I want in a future partner or what I want in a future relationship, because I really like this part, and I could do without that, and I could do without that. And I find that the more relationships I've been in, the more it gets closer and closer to my ideal.
I agree with that. If you do the work only.
I feel like I get further
If you don't do the work, because you're not doing the work.
What work? A fungal.
Soul work. Explain soul work to him. That's a whole other episode, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's a long
It's
a long
literally,
talk.
that's like 5
suffice
episodes.
it to say, so what I do, and this is not because I'm motherfucking
It's like
Mother
train
Teresa.
wrecking yourself.
In a way, yeah. It
No.
looks at
Yes and no.
a lot of it is for me it's meditation. A lot of it and not because my friend Dave Walsh, shout out to Dave Walsh, who's been on my show. He's a hypnotherapist and like a healer, and he's one of those motherfuckers you can make a dick joke right before you do a session. Like, he doesn't take it sacred. We can make jokes about it, whatever. He's down to earth, and one of the things I love about that is that he said that on my show, he said I hate hippies. Because there's a lot of I have the crystals and I have the this or whatever, but I don't want to do the work. The work is
It's
exploring yourself.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's exploring yourself, exploring the dirty stuff, going back to the motherfucking childhood, doing even corny shit like fucking little kid work and like working on like holding space for your inner child. Like there's all kinds of like dirty dark shit, but on the other side of that is a more stable identity for myself and the way I look at the world. I meditate every morning. I write gratitude lists. I help people. I do altruistic shit. I do all the stuff that I do, not because I'm a good person necessarily, but because if I don't do it, I know how I feel if I don't. And I don't like the way I feel. You know what I mean? Yeah, I read a gratitude list.
Am I on it?
I think you have been recently.
Oh.
Anyway, let her.
No. I was just gonna say when you don't do, when you're at that point in your soul journey, if you stop doing it, you wind up falling backwards. You don't stay stagnant. You wind up going backwards. You like your soul wants to keep going forward. If that's just keep swimming. Just I don't know. That's not a spiritual thing necessarily.
Of course, she quotes Ellen.
I just like that.
But what does it
I don't
look
even
like for
Ellen.
you?
She's freaking
I
leftist.
hate her.
Yes,
But
she is.
what'd you say? What is what?
What does it look like for you? So that's
My
what soul
soulful
work-
journey. Oh,
Yeah.
my soul work is definitely self-esteem, self-worth. That's been the lesson every 2 years or so. It pops up again, and this time it popped up in the form of politics, and I had to relearn, to live my truth, and to, I lost a ton of friends, just like I lost girlfriends. Forget it. It's at this point, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna do it again. Here we go.
Right.
And it's becoming easier and easier for me. And I think, like you said, the more you do the work, the more clear you become with what you want and what you know you deserve. And I think that will pull that person closer to you. And if it never comes, you still did the work. And I don't think anybody would be angry at themselves for doing that soul work, even if nothing comes of it, because that's the whole purpose of your soul, is that it is complete in itself.
Right. And I've also part of my soul work or whatever, spiritual growth
Your lesson,
is also,
Everyone's
is also
words,
when I look back at some of those relationships and realizing, I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
Or I shouldn't have done that. I kind of fucked that up, whatever.
Right.
And just, either a call or a letter. There's been times where I make amends and be like, I just want to say, I'm not trying to start no shit up. I'm not sort of, I was wrong in this aspect, of our relationship. And I just want to hold that space for them. For some people it's years. For some people it's a couple weeks, whatever. But making amends is also an important part of that as well.
Yeah, I think for me the work is like trying to, I don't know, because it's sort of been like the story of my dating life that like these guys will make you feel insecure about things that you like about yourself, which is a mind fuck, like, which for me is always
that's
been
a self-esteem lesson too.
the things that have stuck
And you
with
keep
me.
attracting people that are devaluing you. That's that's definitely the lesson. You have to stop attracting that.
I think I don't know. I think like the sort of constant thing I've gotten from guys is you're ugly, you're crazy, you're ugly, you're crazy, and like.
I mean, I think everyone that's watching this can agree that that's not true.
Oh, thank you.
No, that's not
crazy
just. That's
part
not
is
even
it?
just. No, that's not an ego boost. That's a truth that you need to learn, and you need to start putting out there more. Because once you put that out there, you'll attract people that are on the same energy level or wavelength or whatever you want to call it. There's different words for it. Yeah. I think that even the last two women that I was interested in weren't. They acted like they were on. Again, they post spiritual shit on Instagram every 5 minutes, and I was
aesthetic.
fooled. And I was fooled. No, I think they really think that that's their. I really think that they think they're doing it.
Yes.
But I was around their energy, and I was like, I don't know. Old souls just know. We just know, and not that we're better than them, but they're not at our level, and that's fine. They're at where they're at, but they're not where we are, and I had to let them go.
You fucks with Louise Hay?
Like Bev.
Louise Hay, you ever heard of her?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just something I've been thinking about. If there's such a thing as wanting too much in a relationship, ultimately, but for me, that's just wanting a feeling. Because, like, I don't know. Like last year, I was in a relationship with this guy who was a prince, just such a good person, treated me great. You know what I'm talking about. And I felt nothing for him. It was just really boring. It was like the elevator music of relationships, you know?
Okay.
I just felt nothing, and I felt so guilty for feeling nothing. And then a couple months back in the summer, I went on one stupid date with this guy, this different guy, and where I felt nothing before, I felt everything in one day and went nuts. So I don't know. Part of me is feeling like, was that my chance to try and find a way to be happy with someone? Do you not get the crazy love?
I don't think either of those people sound right for you. I don't think either of them right.
No, I mean, the other one was wrong. I just mean in terms of like a feeling of like, because I feel like it's very hard, even like just in the past, like when you've had that, when you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, when you've had dates and feelings with people that are a million, it's very hard to then settle for like a 7 or 8, you know?
But that's, I'll just say, like, and this is maybe a message to everybody watching, is like part of the self-care is that I have to find the messages on my own. I have to find my own truth. I utilize people. I have my spiritual mentors. I have my people, but ultimately it's between me and God and myself and this other person. And so when I look back at my, I've recently found over the last couple of years, I keep getting into these relationships that are certain. I noticed a pattern that I find people where I'm trying to like not change them or save them or anything, but like I kind of have that, and I'm like, okay, let me sit back with myself,
lifeguard syndrome,
and see, in a way, not that they're whatever, but just I like maybe the just to get real kind of nasty, as far as like
help me daddy kind of thing.
In a way, but more. Well, yeah, but also, it unfortunately, and this is the I don't like talking about this, but I'll just say this because it's a true show. But I found that it was a way for me to keep an emotional distance. Because you
feel like you're better than. Yeah, I know, that's a thing.
And so I looked at that.
That's a thing. I feel like I've done that too. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're afraid of somebody on your level because you're like, shit, I don't know what that feels like.
Yes.
It's not about what's right, it's about what's familiar, and that was what Bev was for me. It felt familiar and I thought it felt good. But then I realized, no, it doesn't feel good, it just feels... I'm trying to think of another word of familiar, but familiar, yeah.
So...
Damn.
Maybe there's some work you need to do, Papa.
Some.
You got two very spiritual people right
here.
now.
Jesus.
That's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. Yeah.
Should we get to questions?
Yeah, let's get to questions. Ladies and gentlemen, now and Zers, we are now at the portion of the show where we're going to be answering your questions. Mike?
And all your situations, problems, needs, everything. We got you, fam.
Absolutely.
By the way, we're going to keep doing these because we're awesome, as he will remind you. Yeah. So if you are struggling with something, if you need advice, if you're anything at all, we got you. Email us at... What is it?
RedFlagLovecast.
RedFlagLovecast at gmail.com. Send us your stuff. You can be anonymous. We got you. Let us, fix your life for you. Can't fix my own, but
no.
We are the blind leading the blind. Okay, first question. Hey, Red Flag crew. Since this is your first podcast, thought it would be appropriate for me to ask advice for my first relationship. I'm a 23-year-old gay man who is totally clueless about love and lust. I'm terrified out of my mind about getting into a relationship because it's freaking scary. So what advice do you have for screening the dating pool for my first boyfriend? What do I avoid doing in a relationship? How do I know when and how to kiss him? Aw, I'm so confused and want someone to snuggle with at night, but scared I'm going to find heartbreak as a homocon. Thanks again, Red Flag Lovecast crew. Oh, that's sweet.
You want to go first? You're the guest.
My advice would be, don't go out there looking for a relationship. Go out there looking to make connections, and then go from there. And you'll instinctively, you might not know what's right, but you instinctually know what you need. And sometimes what you need is a reality check.
Mm-hmm.
That's good advice.
It's true. I mean, that's the lesson.
And you'll know how you feel. I think.
Yeah, that's exactly my advice is too. Don't worry about doing it wrong. You're going to do it wrong. Just do it wrong. That's the way to, because the only way I've gotten towards my ideal relationship is by not having my ideal relationship, is by making a mistake, cheating or doing this, whatever, and realizing, don't want that, do want this. But if you go, no, I'm not even gonna take a step towards on the rung of the ladder until it's the perfect ladder, you're fucked. You're never gonna find the right ladder. Just take risks.
Even the word to use, no offense, because I love you, dude, but and this is like maybe unpopular opinion, I am so allergic to the word cuddle or snuggle. I feel like that word is everything wrong with the whole dating world. It is, because that is something that should happen spontaneously because you like someone. And these guys who put on like Tinder, Grindr, whatever, I want to cuddle, but it's like this robotic force schedule that's gross. Not saying that that's what you're saying.
I don't agree with that at all. You're the one who said you want fucking love.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen.
He's not disagreeing with cuddling. He's disagreeing with the fact that it's not even the word. It's the energy behind the word that you're disagreeing with.
The energy behind the word.
Yeah, not you using it, how other people do.
It's the forced nature. It's the way that people are. It's for the forced nature of.
Okay, the illusion of it's like cosplaying. Let's pretend. It's like role playing. Let's pretend we have feelings for.
All right,
let's pretend we actually like each other.
That's an aspect of it. There's the other aspect of it is just like everybody needs to get off. Everybody needs intimacy.
But it's not intimacy. It's fake intimacy.
It's physical intimacy, but it's not emotional intimacy, and it's not spiritual intimacy, which is what you're craving more of.
It's like emotional jerking off.
I think.
All right. Well, I don't personally have that experience because I love fucking cuddling, and I can.
If I like someone,
if I like
do.
somebody, right? But I often don't find myself
in
in that area. Like they automatically most of the time just feel like, oh, okay, it's time to leave because we're not doing that now because whatever. But having the desire for it is okay. I think. I don't think it necessarily sends the wrong signal for my people anyway.
No, I'm not saying that's what you're doing.
I know what you're saying.
But and he also wants to know, what was it? How do you kiss him? How do you kiss? How do you make the move? How do you kiss someone? Okay. Should demonstrate. Okay, so you got no, not that. Fuck off. You should be so lucky. So like, you gotta either send the signals or get the signals. Like, here, put your leg down. Put your leg down. Like, shit like this. Like, you're talking and shit like this happens.
I would say the best way to do is to touch someone and see how they react.
Oh, that's so
touch someone and
funny.
see how it feels and see how they react.
That's so funny you said that.
Yeah.
See?
Be touchy, and then if they're like...
If you're crossing the street, hand on the small of the back. That
Yeah.
sort
and
of stuff,
see how
right.
their energy reacts.
And then you just move that line a little
But
bit
again,
each time.
if
Communication.
you're looking for a flag that says I'm ready for you to kiss me, it's never gonna happen. You just have to try stuff.
Yeah.
You just have to
said
try
it-
stuff.
You'd be like, oh, that's so funny you mentioned that.
Right, that's a signal. But I've also been with people who like, oh, I'm just flirty that way, and they don't, whatever.
Oh, yep.
So just
they want to kiss you.
Yeah, well, most of the time. But just try stuff out. Don't worry about doing it wrong. It's okay.
And you're sexy. They're gonna come to you. Just don't be afraid. Just like,
Well,
dip your toes
you're
in.
going to be afraid, and that's okay. Fear is not necessarily a sign that you're doing something wrong or that things are going to go wrong.
Only if you let fear stop you.
Yes. You're going to be afraid. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be excited, whatever. Just make the move. You'll be all right.
And you gotta let us know what happened. Okay, you have like homework assignment, dude. Like, go make out with someone and tell us all about it.
Anything else on that?
I think they have to just learn their lessons. It's a shitty time in your life.
You're 23. Just go. Just have fun. Yeah.
All right, to sugar daddy or not? I have thoughts already. Hey, babes. So, a guy I went out with a few months ago, I stopped seeing him after the third date because he was too clingy and lied about smoking cigarettes.
Red flag number 1. Okay.
Messaged me and asked if I wanted to go out again or if he could be my sugar daddy. I replied I was too expensive for him, and he offered $400 a date and would include dinner. I'm really thinking about it. I need my Botox. What should I do? And she sent a picture of the text.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like a fun.
Hey, I don't know if you want your name out there, so I love you. I'll block it out. Hey, blank, how have you been? Would you be interested in going out again? And if not, we could try the sugar daddy thing. He's quite direct about that.
That's
So she said, "You can't
a
afford
healthy thing.
me."
He's very communicative.
Right.
He's like, oh, well, you're probably correct, but an extra $300 per visit would give you some spending cash, right? And I may even throw in dinner. Oh, I hate this guy.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Here's
Thank
the thing.
you.
I don't hate that because I think that the guy is very communicative, and I think that for him, he knows that it's very transactional, and that's fine as long as the woman knows that that's the case as well. I think it's healthy sounding as long as they both have the same idea of what this relationship is going to entail. That's it.
Right. Neither one of them, as long as if she needs the cash, go for the fucking cash. Similar to an OnlyFans or whatever.
Yeah, if
you
that's
need the
what he
cash,
wants.
but know that okay, this guy is not necessarily my sexual ideal.
Right, and know what
But
your
is it
limits are.
actually for
Right.
dinner? Like, I feel like there's expectation for more.
And one of those
hairy,
Portland prostitutes. One of those Portland prostitutes. She never had sex with a John. She never whatever. But she
Is this
did.
the one that you? Is this
No,
one
he
of
was
your
a stripper.
prostitutes?
No, not a prostitute. He dated a
No.
stripper.
Oh, I thought it was
They-
one of the strippers that you're like.
Oh.
No, did I say
It's different than a
prostitute?
prostitute.
No.
Stripper?
One of the strippers I dated.
That's why I thought it was somebody else. I was like, no, it's different.
No. One of
Strippers and
the
prostitutes are
I'm a
different.
lesbian stripper who then fucked me and got in a relationship with me. She said that she did get paid, her and one of her stripper friends, not only to go just out to the mall with a dude. He was a married guy. He just wanted to pay her to go to the mall and buy her shit. That was all the relationship was. He didn't expect any kissing. He didn't expect any sex. It's just a sugar daddy or a money bottom or there's a
I'm sure there's 100 words for it.
right.
Yeah.
That's a thing, right? But there was no sex involved, right? But the relationship, even though it's not a relationship, the relationship between those people, the connection was clear up front.
Yeah,
So if
and I
that's
think
what she wants to do,
I
rock
think
and
that's
roll.
healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Just
There's
set your
just
boundaries.
something that feels so gross to me about it. I don't even know what it is. It's just like,
I think it's just societal expectations of what relationships should look like, but I think not all of them have to be sexually or romantically or emotionally involved. I think sometimes it's just platonic, and some people just they enjoy giving to women or giving to
Do they,
people.
though?
Yeah.
And attention.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I do.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, I
Straight
do.
men? Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
I feel like there's just something so skeevy about the
Well,
guy.
I don't-
I
inside
think,
of
and I
that.
understand that because in your mind you know that he might be expecting something else, but
And he
as
could
long
get
as-
angry if he doesn't get
and
it.
that
like-
would be very dangerous. But if he stays true to his word, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Well, here's the thing about that too. Dangerous dudes don't usually do that sort of thing. Like,
won't
not
put out the
fun,
money
dangerous, fucked up, dangerous. They don't do that sort of thing. It's weaker guys. Now, same thing.
That's true.
Any
Maybe
guy
that's why
who's
it's
gonna-
so skeevy to me.
Right. Because I don't personally respect that motherfucker.
No,
and she's
same.
not going to either. But
No.
it doesn't need to be respect for her to know, okay, all I have to do is go to dinner and maybe even give him a blowjob, and I get Botox
Don't
and I
give
get
him a
this.
blowjob.
No.
You don't need Botox.
She
You're
knows what
gorgeous.
she feels like, whatever she's comfortable with. I know who this is.
I do too.
Yeah.
She's
a very
wonderful.
beautiful girl.
Yeah.
But it's up to her whether she wants to do that. And if she's willing to do that, then rock and roll. It's not a judgmental thing.
Right.
So there, we solved your problem.
God, I wish I like I felt this way before with people that I knew. Who, I'm like, God, I wish I could. I wish I could. Like, I just.
Be a sugar baby.
Yeah, I literally wish I could. I just could never.
Then that's you, and you know that about yourself.
Because like I
There's
want the
nothing wrong
money,
with that.
but like I couldn't.
But if you
do
feel
it.
like it's wrong, then it's wrong for you.
It's not that I think
Yeah,
it's
it feels
wrong.
wrong.
Object. Like I'm not judging. It's just.
No, it's wrong for you. is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly.
There's no such thing as objective wrong.
Well, like
I mean, there's
killing
morals, but
Yeah.
like you can't be wrong or like you know.
Yeah. Like there's nothing
you know what I'm
wrong
trying
with
to say.
it per se. Just wouldn't be right for you.
Relationships are always subjective.
I'm on my high horse.
Right.
No, it's
a medium
It's not a high.
horse.
It's not a high horse. You know what you like.
You're on your gay horse.
Question for Mikey. I'm 14 years older than my wife. We've been together 14 years, and she makes more money than me, and we have 2 beautiful kids. How the fuck did I get so lucky? Kent from Alberta. Well, just rub your happiness in our faces.
What are you complaining about? I think he just wanted the attention.
Yeah. No, I love
Good
him.
for you.
But I guess this brings up, we were talking about this before start filming, so can age differences be a good thing sometimes, I guess?
I don't think it necessarily is
Are
a
they bad
good or a
thing?
bad. No, I don't think it's necessarily a good or bad thing. I think it's the way you let it affect you that can be good or bad.
And there's aspects to me being older that some women appreciate. Mm-hmm. There's aspects to me being younger that some women appreciate. When I was 19, I was with like my first when you're 19, what kind of relationship are you actually in?
Right.
But
I
I
was
was
gonna
19,
say.
she was 38. And my experience with that was that I could, everybody cover your ears, but I could come
Last.
and then stay hard,
Yeah.
hey, you're a fucking 19-year-old dick, right? Rather than a 50-year-old dick, right? But 19-year-olds, so if that worked for her at that point, the fact that she didn't need somebody who was financially stable, as it were, then there you go. But for some people, it works different ways. You know what I mean? Some girls
Yeah.
like daddies. You know what I mean? Some girls like, so
Yeah.
God bless you, God bless you, motherfucker.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The last guy that I really liked, the one that I mentioned, he was 19, and something just felt I feel like I'm like, God, am I the creepy old guy now? And I thought it wouldn't matter. Like when we were out, he's like, oh, I don't feel an age difference. So I'm like, no, me neither. Until then, I did,
Right.
And then I'm canceling plans with you. Oh, he's threatening to kill himself again. I can't meet him. Remember?
That he was 19. That kid. Oh no! I would have told you
yeah.
right away. No,
I know.
I didn't know that was his age. I would have told you right away. Anyway, I would have told you right away.
Emotionally unstable is emotionally unstable regardless of age.
That's true.
But
Yes, exactly.
I find that...
But then I feel like, oh, I can save them.
Nope.
I know.
That's the
I
lesson.
find, yeah.
That's the lesson.
And
Yeah.
I find that
Yep.
when I'm dating younger girls, it's like, oh, that's why you're doing this. You're younger. You haven't done that. Same thing we were telling the 23-year-old kid, you have to make mistakes. Well, they're doing the mistake stuff. And I'm like, oh, I've already done this before. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I like the maturity of somebody. If I could take I've said before, if I could take the mind of a 42-year-old and put it in the body of a 20-year-old, that'd be perfect. But you can't do that. So you have to just take what you can, and
I think you're right that
Make
like
decisions for yourself.
A friend of mine is in a relationship. He's like in his late 30s and his boyfriend is like 25 or something, and it's the same number of years that it was with me and the 19-year-old, but I feel like 19 to 24, 25 is like a lifetime.
It could be. Hopefully it is, depending on how much you've grown and how much you've learned over those 5 years.
Yeah. Right. Well, we're very happy for you and your happiness, Kent.
Yeah. Although he's Canadian, so poor guy.
Hey gang, how do you get someone you like to notice you? One of my major problems I have is I seem to be invisible to a lot of people around me. When I'm around a guy that I like, I never seem to be noticed. How can I make myself more visible to grab their attention? Thank you. You gotta just like fucking get out there, like metaphorically pull out your big swinging dick and be like, yo, sup, and just get out there, and who gives a fuck what people think?
Yes, and I would add to that part of the way that you set yourself up for that is by working on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is by either
be the person you would want to be with.
Yeah, be the person you want. Part of me getting towards my sexual ideal and relationship is ideal is looking back at those and looking at who I was and being like, oh, I don't like that. Not just I don't like this about her and blah 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 and her. What do I like about me and the way I acted and the way I comported myself and my body, my mind, my spiritual landscape, my apartment, my this or whatever. And I took care of myself more, and the older I get, I kind of set my life up so that I'm happy, and not just so that like. When you love yourself, because it's trite to say, but when you love yourself, you'll be more open. But it's fucking kind of true. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's a problem with me, is that like the person I want to be with is kind of like a crazy bitch. So I guess I am the person I want to be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
What do you think? How do you get noticed by people?
I don't know.
That's a tough question.
It's a tough question because I don't know if this guy, if he doesn't notice you, is that the person that you want to be noticed by?
I think he means in general.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if somebody doesn't see you for who you are, I wouldn't want them to see me. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go that direction. Right. In general, I would say speak your truth. That's what's gotten me noticed. And don't cater to anybody. Just cater to yourself first. That doesn't mean that you're like putting yourself. I mean, yes, put yourself first. That doesn't mean
it's not at the expense of others.
Yes, at the expense of others is the way to say it. Yes. But yeah, I think you nailed it, honestly. I think it's just a self-love journey. It sounds like you need to really start working on yourself.
I will also add to that 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 old thing of like, if you want a friend, be a friend. Mm-hmm. Often I'll go into a group of people and I'll be like, why isn't anyone talking to me? It's like, that's a bullshit kind of ego fucked up way of coming at it because you're insecure. Everybody should be looking at me. No. Hi, how are you? And just putting yourself out there. If you open yourself up, more people will open themselves up to you.
Energy attracts like.
Right. So
yeah, just get out there.
Yeah.
You got this.
All right, this one is this is a friend. Yeah, this is a friend of mine. Oh. Yeah.
She's like, bitch, just do this.
I know who this is. This is a friend of mine. This is my Australian friend.
Oh, God help you.
I know, it's bad. Okay, hey crew, I'm in a weird situation. Over a year ago, I matched with this chick on Tinder. I'm a lesbian. We get along okay. I mentioned that I had pet budgies. I have no idea what that is.
The fuck is a budgie?
Bird.
Oh, budgie? A bird. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay,
why do I know that?
I blocked her because even his dark humor, who names their pet Hitler? Okay. I thought that game was over. No, she tracked me down on Facebook and was like, did you block me on Tinder? Okay. Turns out she's my first ex-girlfriend's best friend. I mean, this is just lesbian drama 101. This is literally like the fucking, okay. Me and my first girlfriend had a crazy-ass relationship. She came out of dig, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyways, she found out who I was. And then I found out, I had already found out who she was. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. She's engaged and having a pretty crapping time in life. Oh, the reason she messaged me, she slept with, married to a man and has 2 kids with a 3rd kid on the way. This is...
We should fill in the blanks.
This is, I don't know. This is just, I don't understand what she's getting at. Okay, let's see. She's not my type at all, but... Trying to get over a breakup where I feel my heart has been smashed. Now that I'm counting, it's been... Not that I'm counting, but it's been 5 months and 23 days since I got dumped. Okay. Stop counting.
Yeah, that's number one.
And move the fuck on. It ain't the one. It ain't. No. None of this seems... This is chaotic. This is a chaotic email, and love isn't supposed to be chaotic. That's the answer. I don't even need to read the rest of it. Love is supposed to be patient and kind, and what's that whole saying?
I'm telling you.
Oh, shut up.
Love is not chaotic. Lust can be chaotic, I think.
Yeah.
Love is what is it? Love is patient. Love is kind.
Haven't
love
you
is
seen The
never.
Notebook?
No, that's Walk to Remember. Not The Notebook.
No, but I mean, The Notebook was chaotic.
Oh, that's I see what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. All right, but they were also young, and this was like the 50s and shit. Like, this is
love
that
the
young
fucking
shit. This is
Notebook.
that young shit.
Yeah.
I think that's similar, like you're saying, the lesbian drama. There is something about the drama that makes
people think that it's real love.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's healthy.
Gay guys too.
Yes, and I've been tricked into thinking the same thing. I thought that if it didn't feel chaotic, then it was. If it didn't feel chaotic, it wasn't good, or it wasn't right, or it wasn't passionate enough, or something.
Right.
And that's another thing that girl Bev taught me. Was she actually told me? She actually gave me her own red flag and was like, "Here, this is my red flag," and like literally, basically told me like, "I don't know anything but chaos." And I was like, "Let's see just how right she is about telling me that." Like it's stupid. Like I knew her better than she knew herself, type of thing. And I had to learn, like, no, stupid. She told you that she had a red flag, and you looked at it, and you were like, "Oh, I like this."
Oh,
Right,
that's
right,
what
right,
I
right,
did with that guy too. That he's
I know.
like, I'm very mentally ill, and I'm like,
literally said that.
whatever.
He said that.
Yeah, times 10 he said yes.
Okay, yeah. See,
I'm
you
an
need
idiot.
to, you need to
people-
not
Dumb fuck.
When people
show you who they are
believe them.
the first time. Bam.
All right. I just love the fact that the subject line of this email is weird sex stuff.
Perfect.
Gay guy here. I met someone I was really interested in. He was sweet, smart, handsome, but then I realized he's into weird shit sexually. Gimp suits, urine, beatings. Not talking about rough, actual beatings. He wants me to be his slave. I ain't nobody's slave. Good for you. He has no interest in actual sex or intimacy. He even once said he thinks necrophilia would be hot. I feel like I'm being proven right in my head right now. The worst one is he's into all the dog mask stuff where people pretend to be pups or stuff.
This sounds
I
like
don't
a
get it.
typical
It's
dominant,
weird.
submissive type of relationship,
Well, then he goes,
type
it's-
of energy.
Right.
He goes, I'm not that
Exchange.
vanilla, but I'm not into all this weird shit. Should I just do it? Does someone have to do this to make someone like them? Why does it seem like everyone is into weird shit nowadays? Thank you.
All right, I'm on
your side,
I'm gonna say
dude.
two things. I'm gonna say never do what doesn't not that doesn't feel right, but follow your intuition. Yes, there's lots of things that before I did it, and I think this is a human thing. I would never blah blah blah, and then you do it, and you're like, I kind of like that. So maybe having an open mind, but you never need to do something that doesn't feel right to you to make somebody like you. Fuck all that dog shit. The other thing though is all this like anti-kink shit can suck my fucking dick. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna fucking. I know, I know who I'm dealing with, but I've known dirtbags with all the love of my heart for a long time, and as in being one, respect whatever. If it's between two consensual adults, do your fucking thing. Do your dog mask and do your fucking. I'm a horse with a butt plug with hair, like rock and roll. Do it thing.
But I think me and the person writing this probably have this in common, that I don't get it. Like those people with the fucking dog message. Like,
That's okay.
I don't get it.
They don't need you to get it.
Right. They're not asking you to get it. They're providing you.
They're saying, this is me. If you
Yes.
like this,
I'm a dog?
come. No, they said, this is who I am.
But who
I'm
are
going to
they?
live my truth. I don't know. I'm going to live my truth. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And I respect that.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not for you. Move on, bitch.
I do think there's something. I do think he has a point that's rather poignant, though, is that
It does seem like everybody is into weird shit these days.
Yes, and I think that there's something driving that. I think like I've very much noticed over the last couple years that, like, because when you're old enough, however old we might be, that you're on like dating apps, whatever, long enough, like it seems like every single one now, they're just into weirder and weirder and weirder shit. And I think it's because they live their lives, so many of them, just hooking up with people, and it's so overexposed, like I was saying before, with porn, with Grindr, with hooking up, that like they have to keep finding the next thing, and it has to keep getting fucking weirder and weirder and weirder.
I think that's part of it.
Your relationship with shit like that, but I think it is for some of these people.
I think that's part of it. I think the other thing is that it's just much more common knowledge these days, and it's more accepted and less stressed about, because more people are being honest and open with their kinks.
Right. In the 70s, gay men would wear handkerchiefs with different colors.
The hanky code.
Yeah, the hanky, right?
And it told
they had
people what they were
yellow
into.
For P,
Yep.
and on the right it was, I think, receiving.
Really?
On the left
It was for topping.
P.
Yes.
Right? So this has
Yellow
always
one?
been a thing.
He's gayer than you are. He knows gay history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dated yellow one?
I've gotten sucked off by a couple of guys. It's not.
Have
my
you
thing.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was back in the day.
The hanky code had different.
No, I knew that. I didn't know there
I
was
think
yellow.
what
Was there a
white? I
brown
think
one?
it was,
Yes.
What was the cover? I think orange meant you would do anything. You're down for anything.
Oh, really? I didn't know that
Orange,
orange.
yeah.
But yeah, and it's still a
But
thing.
even you have your lines because you wouldn't
Right,
have someone
I do
take a
have-
dump on you or
No,
something.
I do have
So
my
it's
lines,
not like.
but I respect motherfuckers who have different types of lines.
Right. Exactly.
That's
It
all.
doesn't mean
Respect-
it doesn't need to be your line.
By the way, can I just, you know what I think is really interesting? Okay, do you want to hear something really fucked up? So, this has happened to me 3 times in the last, couple months that, okay, not to make myself sound like a total whore, but, if I hooked up with someone, I don't mean someone I was dating. I mean, it was one date or something,
Right.
that then they're say I love you, and, it's like a fetish for them. And it's okay, the first time I'm like, that's kind of weird, but then this happens again. I'm like, that's weird, happens again. And I was talking about it with my friend, and it's happened to him. So I think what that's about is that has, in the gay world, has become the most taboo thing. Love. That is now become the dirty, forbidden thing.
kink.
Because that is the most
Interesting.
forbidden thing imaginable to them.
That makes sense.
That's a video. That's a video topic. Yeah.
The love fetish.
That's a
Right.
video
That's
topic.
crazy.
No, that is. Yeah, I think it's become. No, I think people are more physical than emotional these days, and I think that's.
So
I don't know if it's healthy or if it's worse, and I just think it's different.
It's let's pretend we
It's not what
actually
I want,
like each
but I don't know if
other.
that's worse or better.
Right. And ultimately, and maybe this is the way we close it, ultimately, we're getting as fucked up as it may be and blah, 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 blah. I still kind of feel like the way our lives go, sex life, politics, whatever, is kind of like the bumpers in bowling. You get a little too far to the left and you hit and then you get a little too far to the right, whatever. But we're reaching a medium. Back in the day, there was no butt plugs ever. You know what I mean? Now, maybe there's too many butt plugs. But we're reaching a happy medium, and I think the more we communicate and humanize each other, I think we're getting closer towards that. So.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I'm prolific. I'm amazing.
Too many butt plugs.
Too many butt
That's
plugs.
That's the tagline. Yeah.
Remember
Anyway.
that song, Too Many Cooks?
I haven't seen it.
Remember that?
No.
It's too many butt plugs. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know.
Thank you so much for coming
Arielle,
on.
Queen
Thank
This is
Arielle.
amazing.
I love you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
coming.
Please plug your stuff. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who she is. You subscribe to her.
Still.
But,
But maybe they don't.
well, if
Not everybody knows me. Shit. Maybe my wife is gonna see this, and then I'll get a girlfriend.
butt plug away.
Butt plugs. There's never too many butt plugs in my life.
No.
If she's into it, I'm not into it. No, not into it. Tried it. Wasn't into it. No, just find me on YouTube at Arielle at youtube.com/Arielle.
Yes.
With 2 L's and 2 E's.
Yes, and thank you so much. And you guys, we're going to do this again. Send us your dilemmas, redflaglovecast@gmail.com.
Yay.
And I feel like we should have some sort of filthy sign-offers thing, but I don't know what that is now.
Live, laugh, lube. I don't
Live, laugh, lube.
fucking
No,
whatever.
too many butt plugs. Is the
Too many butt plugs.
We love
have,
you.
Have an appropriate amount
of
of butt, a tasteful amount
a
of
butt
butt
plug
plugs.
medium. We need a butt plug medium. That's what it is. Thank you very much for coming on, and we love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.